Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Ethan's Delicacies. On this episode, I'm going to take you through how you make homemade chapatis. So you can utilize your money instead of buying them on the streets or restaurants, where you can just use it to just buy the ingredients and simply make it at home. Or you can even make it better than the ones outside there. By the way, in chapatis, you can make them at home knowing that you'll not get any effect in brackets of diseases or any complication. You'll be confident of what you're eating, knowing that when you finish making, you eat with pride. Then for spices, you know, people out there, they spice their chapatis but not to your taste and liking. So here at home, you can do it by yourself. Put in any spices you can recommend by yourself. Put them in your chapatis, they come out great. Enjoy. Our ingredients, whereby the major ingredient is our baking flour. Then as me, the spices I use, we have curry powder here, we have black pepper, we have our salt for taste, we have our cloves, we have our reiko. Then for the vegetarians, you know I can't miss you. So we have our vegetables here, where we have our onion and carrots. Then for us, the liquid I use, milk, or if you want you can use water. Then our chopping board, where the vegetables will be chopped from. In our preparation phase, which starts by removing the shells of these vegetables. And for the vegetables, for me, I use specific knives for them. Where the onion, I use this orange knife. For the carrots, I use this red one. I use this end to remove them. And then I use this top part to remove their body shells. And this is how it should look like. Then for the onion, simply get this knife, cut the bottom part off first. You go to the top, then you remove the rest using your fingers. Make sure to remove all so your onion stays as purple as it can be. It will look like this. After removing the covers from your vegetables, you get your mixing bowl like this one, and then you start with the carrots, then you get your grater like this one, and then you start grating them, but use the smaller end, which is this one, to produce them, which will become like this. Because if you use this part, it will make big ones that cannot be, that will not what be, that cannot, they will not attach properly onto the dough. Then you do like this with all the carrots that you have. As you continue doing, you can check that they will all be looking like this. Then you know that your products are coming out. This is what we got from grating the carrots. So you can do the same to the onion. If your onion is big, like how mine was, you can chop it in half, so you can easily grate it. But if it's small, just grate it like the way it is. When you're also grating an onion, there might be a slight side effect of whereby the onion essence comes out of the onion and enters your eye. Then you start crying, but it's just there temporarily. So we're done. The use of the grater is done. Put it in your sink for washing. So this is the result that will come out of the onions. Don't ask yourself questions when you see that the onions are different from the carrots, yet you use the same place. So you move your mixing bowl, you come to your side of the spices again. Then you get a different dish, then you mix them in, while you combine all these spices plus the milk. So for me, I usually use half a tablespoon, not a full one, because too much spices will always spoil the food that you make. And make sure it's leveled, not just getting a full heap like so. Make sure it's leveled so your product comes out properly. Like as our curry powder, let me get our cloves spice. Then you also do the same, measure a leveled half tablespoon of it, put it in your dish. And get our black pepper here. This one you can fit inside so. make sure you put little, because black pepper is almost like cayenne. So this is enough. And you also get our salt. For the salt, this one you have to make sure it's less, because too much of it can end up failing to finish your own product. This one should be less than all the spices you have put in. After putting in your leveled spoon of salt, tablespoon, you get your Reiko. So for the Reiko, you also do the same. You get your tablespoon, then you measure half of it leveled. Then you put it inside. Then after, you get your liquid, which is milk or water. You get your kitchen scissors. Then you cut a portion of the polythene bag. Put the scissors away. Then you pour some amount of it inside the dish. Then you put the rest away. Then you start mixing. Thoroughly mixing your spices in your bowl. They should be in a liquid form like this. Then after, put the spoon away. Then you get your dish that had your vegetables in it. Then after, you put your spices there. After putting in your spices, this is where the dirty process begins from. You get your flour. Then you pour in, you first pour in a certain estimated amount. This one. After that, get your well-washed hands. Make sure you wash your hands before touching in the flour. Then you thoroughly mix all the vegetables and the spices with the flour. After mixing it, remember the liquid is not that much, so it will be looking like this. It'll be looking like crystals. Then after, you get more of your liquid, which was milk or water. Then you pour in, almost like you want to finish it, but not all of it. After pouring that, you first mix in. After it has become like how it is right now, you get in. Now this is where you add more flour, more than the one you put in before. Then you start kneading it. So in the process of kneading it, the kitchen is supposed to be dirty. So if you find your kitchen dirty, don't start saying that I did it wrongly. Just know it's supposed to be dirty when kneading it. Kneading your dough, there are some spices that may be in a low amount. So to test, just get a certain small portion. Then you test. Don't worry, this won't cause stomach ache or any other complication. So when you test, you remove it, then you get that feeling. Then you say that what is lacking is what you should add. Now, like for me, it was salt. So what I did, I got this dish, I added in milk and some salt. Then after mixing them together, I add. After adding, first knead it again. So this liquid and this dough can both mix together. After kneading it like this, you also test again in this format before you add flour. You first test and then you see. Salt is there. Now you can add in flour and continue kneading. Then you get our flour here and we add it in. Then continue kneading. after kneading your dough, you can see our surface is dirty, but don't worry, it will be cleaned after. So you get your oil, you get little. You can either measure using its cover, or if you have a measuring cup, you can use them, or measuring spoons. After, you pour some around the top part, you turn it over, pour also here. After pouring, you start kneading it. Make sure the oil goes around the entire dough so it can become smooth and has great sticking advantage. Our dough is ready after mixing it with the oil. So after, get like a medium-sized ball shape out of the dough, and then form nice balls out of it. These are the balls that will come out. Then you place them on your tray, which has flour on the surface, so to prevent the kneaded balls from sticking with the metal tray. Then you do that same procedure until this entire dough is completely used up. You can see we are finished rolling or getting all the balls out of the entire dough. Now as we move onward to rolling them with our rolling pin that is here. As you can see, the surface is already covered with flour, so when we are rolling them, it prevents the dough from sticking with the ground. So you get some flour, then you smear it onto the dough, then you make like a flattened ball shape out of it, like how you're like on the process of making meat cakes. Then you put it on the surface, put some flour also on the rolling pin, then you begin rolling. To the other side also, then you roll. You continue doing this process until it makes either a perfect circle or until all the edges of the flour of the dough are equally the same. You see, we roll our balls until they look like this one here. While we are doing all this process, we also do them for the rest of these. As we also do all this, we'll be waiting for oil that is heating up in the frying pan. After you get your chapati discs out of the dough, you put them on your frying pan. As you can see, our oil is already ready. For us here in Uganda, we always have a paper that we always use for spinning, which is this one. Me, I'm going to use this one. It's another product for something else, but it still works. Then you get your spatula, then you flip it over. Then you first leave it on that side, first get ready. You give it like 2 minutes on each side for it to get properly ready. Then as it's there, get your oil. Don't pour a lot like as if you're frying French fries. Just get a measured amount, pour around it. After that, you also flip it on the other side. Then you also give it 2 minutes also on the other side. Then you check if it's ready. It's not yet ready still. After, in the process of it getting ready, you get your plate and just serve it on standby. So once they are ready, you place them here. After you check, then you see that here it's ready. so that now both sides are all brown. Then you remove it out of the frying pan. You remove that excess oil that has been on it. Then you transfer it to the other plate with the serviettes. And that's how you make chapatis. See how our chapati is transitioning from once were those balls to how it's transitioning into a nice, well-looking, appetizing piece of wheat. And after, you remove it from the frying pan and place it with the others. That's how chapatis are formed. This is the stage that we have reached our perfectly cooked, well-fried chapatis. For those who like chili, you can eat it with this chili, or locally known as kamulali in Uganda. You can eat it with this tomato sauce, which is also mixed with chili, but tomato sauce in it. Then you can also eat it with plain tomato sauce. Then this can also be accompanied by, if you want to make Rolexes, you can just cook your egg, your omelette, you put it in the center, put one of these toppings, then you roll it. Or you can eat it plain or with your salads. So for the final part, the tasting part, the feel-good part. You put any topping you want, either your chili, your plain tomato sauce, or the mixture of chili and tomato sauce. Perfect. So, as my name is you can see me. Please follow, like, comment below the section column, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you for watching.